Okay, don't worry about it. We got a few minutes here. Oh, let me make sure that
You're not muted over here.
no, I'm not. So yeah, just let everybody know. Thank you for joining us on the Birdman Show. We'll be going live here in a few minutes. We're getting everything set up. We are also going to be live on TikTok, as well as X. We're working on some things to kind of integrate TikTok into the actual podcast. So definitely bear with us. Like I said, we'll be getting started here in just a few minutes.
Absolutely.
If you want to move the mic on here, yeah, we got to rock and roll. Yo, what is up, everybody? It's the Birdman Show. I almost had a stroke there. It's the Birdman
You
Show.
almost had a stroke.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost did. Yeah, so
5 seconds in, he's done.
yeah, I know, right? That's what this case is about to do to me. But yes, this is
Pull it together.
I'm trying to pull everything together right about now. Yeah, but this is the Birdman Show. I am the Birdman. That is my main man, Ace. For those who don't know, why don't you go ahead and join in and do what we do at the beginning of every show. That is right, everybody. We are here. We are live. We are on the Birdman Show. Ace, first of all, how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing all right today. I'm still dealing with the dealing, but I'm doing pretty good today.
Doing pretty good today.
Yep.
Well, that's
We'll
good.
go with that.
That's good. Yeah, sorry, I didn't actually wasn't trying to do that. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Yeah.
Restream's having a stroke.
I see that. What is going on here?
Quit clicking shit.
I was like, wait, what just happened? Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Cool. Yeah,
Right?
good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, that was
For those who this is their first time watching the Birdman Show on TikTok, you're not seeing what's going on over here. But for those who are watching on X and YouTube, this isn't our first time. I
no.
promise.
I definitely promise that. Yeah, we're just getting some things under control here. But yeah, we're definitely here. It's good. Ace, honestly, it's good to be here, man. It's good to be back. I love doing this show. I love doing what we're doing. It's just a lot of fun. How are you feeling about season 3 so far?
Season 3 has been an interesting season. I know that we've only got a couple more episodes before it ends, but it's it's been interesting. And I mean, we're saving the best for last. Next week we're doing Battle of the Sexes. It's not going to be anything like the uh, real talk that we did because we're actually going to be battling out different topics. So it's definitely going to be an interesting finale for the season.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad you brought that up, Ace. I'm really glad you brought that up, mainly because um, what I want to do is I want to challenge everybody that's out there that's viewing and watching us on our YouTube channel, viewing, watching us on TikTok, viewing, watching us on our X feed. If there is a topic that you're dealing with, you're struggling with, especially when it comes to men and women, that maybe one of those things you're like, man, you know what, I just had this problem. I wonder if anybody feels. Let us know. Let us know in the comments on the YouTube channel. Let us know in the comments on our TikTok and our X feed. Let us know what those topics are. Anything you have that you want to talk about. I see Elaine just joined us on TikTok. Hey, baby sis. If there's anything you wanted us to know and talk about, please drop it in the comments, or you can private message myself, private message Ace. Let us know.
Let's
Because this
you're not on it this time, sweetheart.
is
We want you and Pac-Man to succeed. That's why we did not bring you guys on this episode.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want to feel responsible for anything like that.
No, no.
Yeah. So you guys are not on that one. Don't worry. I've got a couple ideas in some future episodes. I definitely want to have you two back because you two are be with everything. Yeah. So yeah, Ace. First of all, Ace, why don't you tell people how you been doing since last episode?
I thought I already did.
I mean, what do you need to know, man?
Shit, just working, uh, living life. I mean, I won't say living the dream because if this is a dream, then somebody fucking kick me in the head and wake me up. I mean, for real.
Now, um,
Really?
what? That went
I
well.
bet you do, Miss Elaine.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ready for what you got to say, Elaine. I love you, sis, but
Right?
I don't know about that. I really don't. I don't know. We'll talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. I might help you get something started. Anyways, hey, let's get on with this show. So this show, like I said, we're talking about the Black Dahlia. This is going to be a Birdman Studios production. Yes, we're talking about the Black Dahlia. Now, like I said, for most who don't know much about it, first of all, let me ask this question before we get to that. I count on 27th. Oh, yeah. For those who don't know much about it, Ace, what did you know about the Black Dahlia before I suggested this topic?
Not much. I'd heard of it before. I mean, I heard the name Black Dahlia countless times before you brought it up as a topic, but I'd never actually heard much on the details about it.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I had heard about this show a few years back. And then, somebody was telling me about watching the movie that came out about it. And it's just crazy just to know, and then to find out that this is an unsolved case. That it just really kind of got to me. It's like, wow, that's crazy how this is an unsolved case. And even years later, after all this technology stuff that came out, I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, I mean, you're talking about this happened in 1947. So there was uh, we definitely didn't have the technology that we have today. So there's that. It's just an all around interesting case. There's a lot of conspiracy uh, theorists that deal with this case, with a lot of things that are involved. There were so many, dude. It's like okay. It's like being at a bar, okay, and you're a sports fanatic, and they've got like a wall that has 82 TVs on it, and it has every game you can imagine on those TV screens. This is what this kind of reminds me of. Is there's so many different things going on with this case, and so many different possibilities and everything else that you have no idea what to freaking focus on.
Okay.
And that's what I felt like.
I
Um,
was wondering where you were going with this analogy. And I was like, how did we bring sports and 82 TVs into this case? But in true Birdman fashion, you brought it back in, and it meshed together. So,
I am the expert at that, man. I thought you knew.
well, I know that you know how to pull some shit out your ass, but like I said, I was wondering where this was going because I was like, but yes, you are right. There is so much that's going on with this case that I got a headache with all the details. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So let's get into it. All right. Okay. So, like the case, it's called the Black Dahlia, but the person that's actually that we're going to be talking about is Elizabeth Short. Now Elizabeth Short, she was born July 29th, 1924, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. So basically, what we're going to be talking about was what went on between January 14th through 15th, 1947. Okay, so known as the Black Dahlia, was an American woman found murdered in Lemert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. I don't freaking know. But this happened she was found on January 15th, 1947. Her case became highly publicized, owing to the gruesome nature of the crime, and I'm telling you, it is bad. Um,
Yes,
and included mutilation of her corpse. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna go into all that. But yeah, it's pretty bad.
it is, Mama.
Um, so Ace, what did you find out as far as the background on her before all this happened?
The background on her parents divorced. Shit. Let me see if I can't find that. But okay. She was the third of five daughters of Cleo Alvin Short and his wife Phoebe Sawyer. Her sisters were all that shit don't really matter, but they divorced, and her mom stayed in Massachusetts, I believe, and her dad relocated to Vallejo, California.
Leo.
And it was hell. She was a teenager. I want to say she was like 17 or so whenever she became a teenager. I mean, she became rebellious, didn't want to listen, doing what she wanted to do. So her dad paid $800. You hear this? $800 is all it took to relocate her and her stuff across the country in 1940. Well, actually, it'd be 1946 whenever that happened.
Right.
No, wait.
You right there, bro?
Yes. Okay, it was 1943. Yes. Yes, 1943, whenever she relocated to Vallejo. So she was in California for 3 years before the incident happened. But during the time that she was there, her dad told her that she could move in with him as long as she cooked and cleaned. She didn't have to pay rent. She didn't have to do anything. She just had to keep the house clean and cook dinner. That was it. And it was 3 weeks. It took 3 weeks for her dad to kick her out because she wasn't cooking, she wasn't cleaning, she was going out every night, going to bars, running around with people, and just doing whatever she wanted to do. She's in California now. I mean, come on. So 3 weeks of putting up with this, her dad finally kicked her out, and that was the last day that he saw her. Whenever she left, she ended up getting a job on the military base as a cook. No, it was camp cook. She was briefly living with a U.S. Army Air Force sergeant who reportedly abused her. She left there in mid 1943 and moved to Santa Barbara, where she was arrested on drinking at a local bar while underage. I did not get information about that part.
Which part?
The part where she got sent back to Massachusetts. I watched a podcast and she didn't even fucking mention that shit. It was the lady that does the Monday murder mystery makeup or the murder mystery makeup Mondays. She didn't mention the shit about her being sent back to Massachusetts and going to Florida and all that shit. The fuck? Get your story in there. Come on. She only had occasional visits back to her family in Boston, apparently. Shit. What? Okay. They're okay. Now she relocates back too. But while in Florida, she met another military guy who was training for deployment to Southeast Asia. Southeast Asian theater of World War II.
Yeah, he was in the Second Air Command.
Yes. Short later, told her friends that Gordon had written to propose marriage while he was recovering from injuries from a plane crash in India. She accepted his offer, but Gordon died in a second crash. At this time, she relocated back to California. I mean, I hate not knowing this because now I'm just sitting here reading it off the fucking internets. I'm gonna get a hold of what's her face, Sylvia. What the hell's her name, Mom? Mom, what was her name? You sent me one of her damn podcasts too. But yeah, at this point, she is relocating back to California. What?
And it wasn't
Say over there? No, it wasn't Rotten Mango.
Rotten Mango. No,
But
I don't even know if Rotten Mango did one on this. She may
she
have. I don't
didn't.
know.
I looked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I searched it on. Well, I don't know if she did one on YouTube, but I know that she didn't have one on Spotify.
Well, if it's not on YouTube, then it's not going to be on Spotify.
Well, I
So
said I
yeah,
don't know if
I'm
she
telling you right
did.
now, if it's not on one, it's not going to be on the other. She didn't do it at all, but she uploads them both.
Okay, so
Yeah,
if it
that's what
wasn't
I.
on Spotify, then it wouldn't be on YouTube.
No, no.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I might send this one to her,
Facts.
see what she can come up with.
Oh hell. You mean ours? You're
Yeah,
gonna send our podcast to shit.
yeah. I'm gonna send it to her. Hey, check
All
this out
right.
and see what you come up with.
In July of 1946, she relocated to Los Angeles to visit Army Air Force Lieutenant Joseph Gordon, an acquaintance from Florida who was stationed at the Naval Reserve in Long Beach. Short spent the last 6 months of her life in Southern California, mostly in the Los Angeles area. Shortly before her death, she had been working as a waitress and rented a room behind the Florentine Gardens nightclub on Hollywood Boulevard. She has been variously described and depicted as an aspiring or would-be actress, according to some sources. She did, in fact, have aspirations to be a film star, though she had not known acting jobs or credit. Now, one thing it doesn't mention in there is during her stay in California. See, now I'm just fucking confused on whether her information's right or this information's right, because she said that while she was in California, she relocated to Santa Barbara.
Mhm.
And while she was in Santa Barbara, she met somebody down there who let her stay at her place for like a month. And the lady worked or ran a theater, and she only stayed there for like a month. This was like right before she died. So it might be after she relocated back to California. She met this lady and lived with her for like a month, and then after that month, she moved out. Told her that she was looking for going a different direction. She appreciated her taking her in, letting her stay there, and that was whenever she left with Red.
Mhm.
So I mean, she didn't mention any of that shit going back to Massachusetts, to Florida, back to California shit. She left that Bermuda Triangle out.
Look, what I'll say about it when it comes to this, especially when it comes to like any research we're gonna do on here. The thing is that there are so many different. This is why I say this is a very interesting case, because what you're doing is you're making a wonderful case for what I made about the analogy of the sports bar and the 82 TVs. There are
Yes.
so many different views when it comes to this. There's so many different views, so many different points of views when it comes to this. Sorry, I was checking my mic for a second. That it's hard to know what the truth is or what really is going on. And so imagine what it was like back in 1947 when all this happened. When they didn't have the technology, they didn't have internet, they didn't have, all different, they didn't have podcasts, they didn't have all that. They were going by really word of mouth gossip, whatever evidence they had that they can go off of. They were just trying to go off of that. And it's just like playing that game, the telephone game. When you hear one thing and then you try to tell them a sentence or whatever, and then you have to try to pass that along to many people. How many things get added or taken away from it? That's the beautiful thing about this story, is that there's so many different things. And then we get to the more into the theory possibility, there's so many different theories as to what actually really happened. So this is, like I said, this case has like some resemblance of Marilyn Monroe to me. With what how she was unalived and everything that all the backstories that went with that. This story has a lot of implications in what different things could have happened with it. And it's just wild to me. That's all it is. So yeah, oh my god, it's freaking crazy, man. That's all I can say. So here's what we're gonna do, Ace. How about we do this? We're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we're gonna get to actual things that kind of like right prior to the murder, and then we're gonna get into some other things that go along with that. Are you cool with that?
Sounds good.
All right, good, 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 good. I'm glad. I'm the host. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, anyways. Um, but anyways, for those on or who are watching us on restream, which is connected to our YouTube and X universe, we'll be right back with more of the Birdman Show. TikTok, stay right where you at.
Hi, I'm going to tell you about Dubby energy drinks. Dubby is an energy drink you mix at home. No jitters, no crash. Dubby is formulated to give you focus and energy. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented Nuofactor. No calories, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors. So if you need something to give you energy to take on the whole world, Dubby Energy is what you need. Go to dubby.gg. That's DUBBY.gg. Use promo code Birdman Show for 10% off your orders and tell them the Birdman sent you.
I probably should put that on there, but she
I
didn't
mean,
want to do it.
Mama should have done that shit.
She didn't want to do it. She's afraid she's gonna spit her teeth out or something.
Put some damn adhesive in there. Yes, thank you, Mama. Bailey Sarian.
Yo, what is up? It's your boy. It's the Birdman. We're back here on the Birdman Show. That's Ace. This is the Birdman Show. You already know what to do, so go ahead and do it with us. That is right. We're back here on the Birdman Show, and we are talking about this insane case. We are talking about the Black Dahlia. Um, and like I said, if you don't know much about this case, and if you're just not joining us, it's a wild
Really?
case. Ace, how are you feeling so far about this case?
So far, um, I've already got a headache. Because like I said, if you're going to do a podcast, make sure you have all the details in there of her entire like life. I mean, don't skip where she returned back home and then went to Florida and all. I mean, like I said, that's a Bermuda Triangle that just got fucking removed. It's like that information got lost.
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, it's like I said, and I don't know if it's so much the fact that they just didn't have the information, maybe, or they didn't include it. Maybe it's just the fact that they didn't have it. They were going by
They
what they
didn't,
what they had.
or they just didn't find that part relevant. I mean, I
Yeah,
get
I mean,
that,
yeah.
but it's yes, mother, really.
I'm sorry, my bad, my bad,
What's up, Nicholas?
my bad, my bad. Anyways, but no, it's one of those things where that's what I like about this is that when you come to platforms like this, doing podcasts and stuff like that, number one, people are going to give their own opinion about any and everything. That's just number one. Number two, you got to think about the fact that you know, I mean, Jesus, like everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has different points of view. They might say, "Hey, this person covered this part. I don't want to cover that part. Let me cover this part." And they're trying to put their own spin on things. So a lot of that time, sometimes to me, just boils down to stuff like that. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, yeah. So like I said, we're talking about the Black Dahlia. It was the case of, for those who don't know, her real name was Elizabeth Short. Um, and for all intents and purposes, a very, and actually I actually want to pull that up. Hey, so do me a favor real quick. Why don't you go ahead and kind of give people a little bit of recap what we just talked about, why I pull this part up.
What we've talked about so far is the fact that whenever she was a teenager, she was getting too unruly for her mother to handle with the other kids in the house. So her dad brought her out to California, and she was out there for a few years. I think I really don't know anymore. But at some point, she went back to. Oh wait, she got caught drinking underage, so the juvenile authorities sent her back to Massachusetts, and whenever she got back there, she turned of age. Well, of age then was probably 16. In fact, everything was more lenient back then. But then she went from there and moved down to Florida, where she was dating another military man down there. He passed away after proposing to her, and she went from Florida back to California, and this was like 6 months before her unaliving. And as you can see above us here, that is Elizabeth Short.
Yeah, and in all intents and purposes, man, especially for the standards back then, very attractive woman. They were really big into they've been really big into the big hair for a while, haven't they? I'm
Yes.
noticing that. Wow, that's like I said, 40s back in the 40s, man. I didn't. Okay, that's cool, awesome. Anyways,
It wasn't just an 80s thing.
no, I guess it's really true. They recycle all fashion. So okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and of course, definitely before we get to the point where we continue on this, I definitely want to say once again that we are live on TikTok. So definitely go check us out on our TikTok platform. Love you guys, TikTok. You guys are doing wonderful. We're at 1.2K on the likes. Let's get that bad boy up. So we're definitely live on TikTok. Also, we are live on X right now, as well. X, you guys are doing phenomenal. Love you guys. Keep it up. And then, of course, we're also live on our YouTube channel at Birdman Show Podcast. Definitely wanted to make sure I give a shout out to everybody who's watched us on all different platforms. Hey, so let's get a little bit more into this. Okay. So we've kind of talked, given a little bit more, we've given a little bit about, the background for what we gathered.
Right.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on prior to the murder. Okay, so on January 9th, 1947, Short returned to her home in Los Angeles. Okay, are you following me so far? Are you good with your notes so far, or is this new information
Yeah,
for you?
I'm following right along with you. You're on Wiki. I'm on Wiki.
Yeah, well, that's actually part of my notes. So yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, she returned home to her Los Angeles home after a brief trip to San Diego with Robert Red Manley. And I believe that's who you brought up with, who she was with at the time. Um,
Yes.
yes, 25-year-old salesman she had been dating. Now, Manley stated that he had dropped Short off at the Baltimore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, and Short and he said at
Hey,
that.
hey, it's the Bitmore
Oh, I'm
Hotel.
sorry. I see that in that fragment, and I think automatically think Baltimore. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody watching. Bitmore, if you're still there, Bitmore Hotel. I apologize. Maybe I can get a room there when I come stay in California at some point in time. Anyways, at the Bitmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, and it stated that Shorthead was to meet her sister, who was visiting from Boston that afternoon. Now, by some accounts, staff at the Bitmore recalled having seen Short using the lobby telephone shortly after. Short, shortly after. I see what you did there. Shortly after, she was she was allegedly seen by patrons of the Crown Grill cocktail lounge at 7 164 South Olive Street, approximately 3.8 miles away from the Bitmore Hotel. Now, a lot of people are thinking, and I know I was thinking, okay, it was shortly after they saw her in the lobby, and all of a sudden she's almost 4 miles away from where they saw her at. Things that sound a little fishy. I mean, what are your thoughts on that part, Ace?
New to me. Yep. Didn't even know that all this happened. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Get your damn information and make sure you bring that shit to light.
Have you not seen the movie?
No, I have not seen the movie The Black Dahlia. Maybe that's
Okay.
where I've heard of it from, is the movie. Maybe
Well,
I
okay.
should have done that.
Well, I mean, the thing is that the movie it puts in a lot of different things. It probably actually fills in probably a lot more gaps than what what we're filling in right there, right here and
Probably.
everything. But I'm just saying, it actually talks about that part, and it actually shows that part in the movie where there was confusion about where she was at and this and that. People seen her this, seen her here, seen her there, and all that other good stuff. So it's crazy. If you get a chance, definitely watch it. It is a good watch. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is a good watch. So definitely check it out. But yeah. So definitely do that. Now, let's talk about the discovery. Okay, so on January 15th, morning of January 15th, 1947, Short's naked body, um, severed into two pieces, was found in a vacant lot on the west side of South Norton Avenue, midway between the Coliseum Street and West 39th Street. And yes, I said that. She was severed in half. Now, Ace, I don't know about you, but when I hear something like that, the first thing, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay. Now, listen, like Ace has put this disclaimer out on most of our podcast shows that we do. I don't think he did it this one. This
I did
episode.
not.
Okay, we do make jokes. We do, and the only reason why we make jokes is because a lot of the cases we deal with they're just brutal, and it's just not. I'm not gonna speak for Ace, but for me, it puts me in a very not so good of a mindset when it comes to that. And so therefore sometimes we'll make jokes, but kind of make it light, kind of keep it lighthearted so that way our viewers are not getting too freaked out about some of the stuff we're gonna be talking about. And so also so we don't get too freaked out either. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna get freaked out, but it's not always the best. But when I first heard that part when they talked about that, I thought about the part of Deadpool 2 when the Juggernaut ripped. Yeah. It was messed up. That's the only thing I can say. That's where I had to take my mind to in order to process what they were talking about. I had to find something to just say, ha, laugh, please laugh,
Wow.
laugh. Yeah. And the reason why I have some reasons behind that. And a lot of it
I'm sure you do.
Well, a lot of it's because of an incident that happened when I was deployed.
Yeah.
So that was actually the first where my mind started to go first, and then like I guess a defense mechanism, my mind said, nope, not going there. Here's something to replace it. And so I'm thankful for that, honestly. But when you hear something like that, man, what are the thoughts that run through your mind to just to be, I don't know, whatever you're doing, and you're walking along and you're walking by this vacant lot, and all of a sudden you see this woman who's there naked and in basically two different places.
No, it wasn't two different places. The
She
way
wasn't
that they
together.
well, granted, but I mean, it's not like they dropped the torso here and the legs over here. I mean, they were both right there, just like 4 to 6 inches apart from each other, just to show that not together.
Yeah.
Now, going off of what Birdman said, yes, I do put a disclaimer out. The disclaimer on this one isn't the same as the disclaimer that we put on most of our podcasts. Most of our podcasts, we have put disclaimers out because there are certain aspects of those podcasts that can trigger. It can trigger people. And with this one, it's the case is so messed up that I don't know what kind of disclaimer I would put out on this one. Birdman mentioned that she'd been cut in half. I mean, right just below the fucking belly button. They just sawed her in half. Some of the things that they did to her. There were cut marks, like crisscross marks on her vaginal area. There were cut marks on her upper torso. They had cut her right breast completely off. They had sliced her mouth to give her, I mean, they call it a Glasgow smile, but it's a Joker smile. And rumors say that they played tic-tac-toe on her leg. Now, I will say, whenever I watched Bailey's podcast, that was one of the things that she got stuck on, was that they played tic-tac-toe, because most people fucking most people, whenever they start to play tic-tac-toe, there has to be two people. You can't play tic-tac-toe. I mean, you can, but the point of tic-tac-toe is to have two people. But just to do something like that, what was the point? I mean, what was the point of all of it, honestly? But the weirdest part about this whole thing is they did all of this somewhere else and moved her there so that she could be found. The reason why we know that is because there was no blood around her. It's like they washed her body clean whenever they placed, before they took her to where she was discovered at. And it's that's somebody that has a lot going wrong with him.
There's a lot going wrong with a lot of parts of this this case. I mean, and when I say a lot, I mean 100% a lot. Like I had said, they had, so they found her, and Ace, and this, some of this is going to be some of what Ace had just said. But they Short's severely mutilated body was completely severed at the waist and drained of her blood, leaving her skin in a, oh my God, it was just, yeah, I guess, if my niece over there is having a Tourette's moment. But the medical examiners determined that she had been dead for around 10 hours prior to her being discovered, leaving her time of death either sometime during the evening of January 14th or early morning hours of January 15th. The body had apparently been washed by the killer, as Ace had stated. Um, no Deception King, not vampire magicians. Um,
Right. Right.
but it had been drained by the killer. Short's face had been slashed from the corners of her mouth to her ears, creating an effect known as the like Aces the Gladstone smile, or for people more of this day and age, the Joker smile. Um, she had several cuts on her thigh and breast, where entire portions of flesh had been sliced away. The lower half of her body was positioned a foot away from the upper body, so more than. Yeah. Anyways, her intestines had been. uh, This is what
Right,
gets
right
me.
there. Perfect.
This yeah, I know, right? This what gets me. This is another part of this of this.
Right. I didn't mention
That
this
her
part.
Yeah, well, I am. Her
Go ahead.
intestines were neatly tucked beneath her buttocks. Neatly tucked beneath her buttocks. I The corpse had been positioned I'm sorry, posed with her hands over her head, her elbows bent at right angles, and her legs spread apart. Th- Like, dude, bro, this stuff is crazy, man. Like, what gets me is that this basically turned the movie, and they had some suspicions because, like, they deemed her the Black Dahlia. Now her murder took place in 1947. There was a movie that came out prior to that, 1946, called The Blue Dahlia. And it was a murder mystery of sorts. And I'm not saying it was not anything like what happened with her, but that's where a lot of people are theorizing. That's why they came up with Black Dahlia, because of that
Now,
murder
do you know
mystery.
why they called her the Black Dahlia?
Why?
Because of the color of her panties.
Awesome. Anyways, so if she were wearing pink ones, they would call her the Pink Dahlia.
Apparently.
I'm at least glad that our detectives of this day and age are a little bit more creative than that. Actually, it wasn't even the detective.
Yes.
I think it was the
It
newspapers
was
that
the meat. It
actually.
was the public
Yeah, the public that came
that
up with that.
deemed her the Black Dahlia.
Okay, so we probably would have still been screwed if that had something like that happen today.
Yeah,
Um, unfortunately,
absolutely. What's up,
yeah,
Shiloh?
I don't have much faith in in people's creativities nowadays. But yeah, this
Absolutely.
um like I said, and their legs are spread apart. Now, the Los Angeles Herald Express reporter Angela Underwood was among one of the first to arrive, and took several photographs of the corpse and crime scene, which none of them I'm showing. I do have those. I am not showing them. That's just not happening. Um, Now, near the body, detectives located a heel print on the ground amid the tire tracks, because there were tire tracks there as well. Um, and uh, and a cement sack containing watery blood was also found nearby. Watery blood. Now, when you hear something like that, what are some of the things you start thinking about, Ace?
Um, why would they have done that? Why bring a sample of her blood that they had washed? I mean, I'm assuming this is the blood that they captured whenever they were washing her off and everything. But I mean, what's the point of that? I mean, the heel print, yeah. If you made tire tracks on the grass, you step in it, you're going to leave a print. That's neither here nor there. You can't find somebody off of a heel print. But Not in that day and age. But the sack of watery blood, that one baffles me. I mean, what was the point?
No, I get that. I'm sorry. I had a buddy of mine. He's kind of going through a tough time, so he's kind of messaging me right now. So I'm kind of doing
Multitasking.
podcast, yes, and I'm doing this as well because he's a vet like myself, so he's a brother for life. And so I just want to make sure he's all good. But I get what you're saying. Now, here's the frustrating part about this. Okay, after the discovery of her body, the Los Angeles Police Department began an extensive investigation that produced over 150 suspects, but no one yielded an arrest. 150 for my ghetto people.
Well, the
150.
the worst part of it though is a lot of those were just people calling in admitting to the murder just for publicity. They were calling in saying that they killed the Black Dahlia, and they were doing it just so that they could have their name recognized. I mean, do you realize that if they would have actually arrested you for that murder, that in that day and age, you'd be dead?
Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid on why somebody would falsely accuse themselves of something they didn't do just for publicity.
15 minutes of fame.
Well, yeah, they got it. Their name was in the paper and everything. So I mean, it is what it is. But during her autopsy, that they apparently didn't wear gloves whenever they moved the body, because I know, mother.
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna stop the show real quick. No, Mom, I know you be in your phone half the time, but come on, lady, pay attention. We've said about the movie about 4 times now. You know what? That's interesting side note here, Ace. It's off topic, but it's an interesting side note. Do
She's
you know
watching
that
this on the fucking TV.
I get it. But you know that if you drive from here to Oklahoma City, you know how many times you drive from here to Oklahoma City, your mother will point out that there's a Hard Rock Cafe right outside of Tulsa every
Every
single time
time.
you go. You gotta-
Hey, look, there's Hard Rock Cafe. That's new.
She did that to us the last time we had to go down there for one of my basketball games. We did that, and I was sitting there driving, and she was, of course, in the passenger seat. She's like, "Oh, look, there's a cafe." And I said, "Mom, you said that the last 2 times we came down." She's like, "What?" I was like, "Mom." And there's the background. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Love you, mama.
Oh, we know. She knows I love her. I mess with her all the time, man. She definitely helps keep me insane or keeps me sane. She ain't beat nobody. She just had hernia surgery, so I ain't worried. But no, I mean, dude, like I said, this thing, like there was so many, and like I said, her unsolved murder, and the details surrounding it, have had have had a lasting culture, uh, um, intrigue and generating various theories and public speculation. Like this is going on. Like, dude, we're in 2024, bro, and there's still people trying to figure this out. Like, when you think about conspiracy theories and murders and stuff like that, assassinate. What are the top 3 that you think about? Possibly.
Whenever it comes to serial killers,
No, when it comes to conspiracy theories on how somebody died, especially if they've been a public figure or anything. When it comes to conspiracy theories, what are the top 3 conspiracy theories that you think of?
My brain ain't braining right now. That's why I'm reading off of a tablet. So you're gonna have to forgive me if I fail to answer this question.
Okay, I'll answer it for you. Top 3, JFK. All right.
Oh shit! Like that. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah,
It's still another one that's widely talked about. Then you can kind of throw either Marilyn Monroe and even you can even bounce off of this one with the Black Dahlia, especially when you talk about unsolved. Because even though they may say that they solved the whole thing that was going on with JFK, or not JFK,
there's more behind that than just.
Well, I'm talking about Martin Luther King. They try to say all that other stuff, but the thing is that there's been multiple reports from agencies that Martin Luther King was still alive when he went to the hospital, and that he could have been saved. So there's so many. When you talk about conspiracy theories and when you talk about stuff like this, there's always so many different theories and everything that could go on with this. Marilyn Monroe's another one because of who she was, who she had ties with, what she was doing. Marilyn Monroe, she was a modern day. She's a modern day freak. Well, I'm trying to tell you, man. Hey, watch out. You know what I'm saying? But like Black Dahlia, this is another one. This is another one that just there's so many different theories out there when it comes to this that it's mind-boggling to me. It's just crazy. Hold up, gotta do a little thing for TikTok real quick. Yeah, this TikTok has this little puzzle thing you gotta do. I don't know, whatever. It's like you can see me. I'm
Amber's over here saying what about Reagan's close call?
Yeah.
Reagan got shot.
First of all, whoever was doing that attempt on him, you need to be your assassin license should be revoked. It should have been revoked. I don't understand how. I mean, I'm not saying I wanted nothing to happen. I didn't want nothing to happen. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want nothing to happen to Reagan or nothing. He's one of my. I actually really liked Reagan. But I mean, seriously, they really weren't protecting him that well. And they had a pretty clear shot. So I'm not saying it was a grown man that missed. Maybe it could have been a 5-year-old. I don't know. What I'm saying is that anything's possible. That's all I'm saying.
I was taking a fucking drink. Love you, Mama. I know.
Oh,
Mama is not the butt of our jokes tonight. For whatever reason, she just kind of pops into situations that we come across, and we love you, Mama.
Oh, we definitely do.
Back to the case. The only thing I'm going to mention about the autopsy, we already told you everything that happened to her, as far as wounds and everything during the finding of the body. The only thing that I'm going to mention about whenever they did the autopsy is they actually found fingerprints on her body that came back to red. And it's kind of funny that if they washed the body, then how would there still be fingerprints on her from him? And the other thing that they found that the police did not release, the way that this was found out is one of the people that confessed that they did it had a friend who was an officer that worked the case that told her this information that was not released to the press. Whoever unalived her had cut off some of her hair and shoved it up into her vagina. They did a test for sperm, and the test came back negative, so she was not essayed. But that's really the only thing that is significant in the autopsy, unless Tim wants to mention something. Oh yeah, there was ligature marks on her wrists, her ankles, and on her neck, like she might have been strangulated. But as far as cause of death, they really didn't deem what might have caused the cause of death, because she had a fracture on her skull, the ligature marks on her neck, and um, and then the fact that she wasn't together. So as far as what cause of death was, I'm not exactly sure what they deemed it to be.
Um,
Wait, here, wait just a second. I've got her death certificate here.
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. And it doesn't really. It doesn't really go too much into what they actually said. I mean, they kind of just explained a lot of what you just did. They just kind of went through bad stuff right there, but with something like that, it's really honestly, it's kind of hard for a coroner to give a cause of death because almost there's probably at least, I mean, there's probably at least 10 different injuries that she had that could have caused her death.
Right.
Um, so it's kind of really hard to determine something like that. And that's something that really sucks. Okay, so we're gonna get more back into this a little bit. Ace, let's.
But before we go to commercial, one more thing that I wanted to mention is one thing that the investigators did notice is that whenever she did, whenever she died, she did so on her stomach side. And the reason why they know this is because whenever you pass away and you are laying in a flat position, all of your blood drops to whatever area you were laying on, and it turns your skin a blackish blue color or blackish purple color. And whenever she was staged face up, and her entire front side had that blackish purple color. Not that it goes anywhere into determining who actually did it, but it was something that was of interest in the case. So go ahead, Birdman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't. There's not much. There's not much more I can add to that. So yeah. So let's pause. And let's take a commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have more of the Birdman Show dealing with the Black Dahlia. This commercial break is going to be brought to you by Spotify for podcasters. It's an awesome way for you to do an audio podcast. It's very easy with their tools. You can do a podcast just like us. But with their new tools, you can also upload video podcasts as well. So definitely stick around and hear from this sponsor. Hey, it's the Birdman here, and I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? If so, have you heard about Spotify for podcasters and why it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place? Allow me to explain. Spotify for podcasters has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone, tablet, or computer. And when hosting on Spotify for podcasters, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. It's really everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And the best thing about it, it's totally free. So what are you waiting for? Go to podcasters.spotify.com to get started. And just tell them a little birdie told you. A Birdman, that is. Yeah, Ace, I'm sorry. Hey, y'all see Ace over there laughing. He's having a time with TikTok right now. He's messing up everybody's name.
God.
Yes,
I am. I'm calling Angel Amber. I called Jesse Jenny. I mean, what the fuck? I need to clean my fucking eyes is what I need to do.
Yeah. But hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy, it's the Birdman. We are back live on the Birdman Show. That's Ace. And you guys know what to do. So go ahead and do it with us. That is right. We are here live on the Birdman Show. We are live on X Universe. What's up, X? How you guys doing? Love you guys. You guys are awesome. We are live on TikTok. TikTok, holla if you with me. We at 2.5K. Come on, guys. We can do much better than that, y'all. Let's get it going. Get them thumbs up working. Get them massage guns out. Let's get it going. Let's go. But yes, you guys are doing well. And of course, everybody's watching on our YouTube
Get that vibrator
channel.
out.
You guys are doing phenomenal. Love you guys. Thank you for definitely joining us. We are talking about the Black Dahlia in this episode, and it so far has been a extremely crazy case. Ace, how are you doing so far with this?
I'm doing all right. I've got fireworks going off outside right now, and I've got my headphones on, but there's occasional spots where there's no noise or no talking, and I'm hearing them, and it's fucking me up.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, about right.
But yeah, other than that, I'm doing great right now.
Well, that's good. That's outstanding. That's what I like to hear. So Ace, this case is wow, look at that. You know what, I'm gonna say I gotta pause real quick. What did I say we were at on TikTok right before we started this segment?
2.5.
2.5.
We've already gotten it. Oh, Angel got the vibrator.
Anyways, right, we're at 3.6 now. We jumped just that quick from me saying what's up to Ace. We went to 3.6. This is why I love you, TikTok. You guys are freaking phenomenal. Good job. Yes, keep using that vibrator, Angel.
Jesse said her thumb hurts now. Then start using the screen.
Yeah. But no, I love it. Like I said, you guys are
tap the screen phenomenal. Then I don't know what you're doing with your thumb, but tap the screen.
Use your big toe. Anyways,
hell, we already up over 4. Yeah. Oops.
Good God. Yeah. Wow, just that quick. Okay. Slow down with the vibrators. Anyways, I'm not responsible for anybody going to the hospital. Ace, how are you feeling so far? Hey, Jess, Jess, we're gonna have to get together. Definitely need to get you in on a live, whether it's TikTok or it's on here. We definitely need to get it on a live, collaborate something, or work something out. But Ace, how you feeling so far about this case? And as you're talking that, kind of give us a little recap as well as where we're at right now.
If you're just now joining us, my suggestion is to go back after the podcast is done and just have fun with us all the way through. Like we say with every podcast we do, we have to bring laughter into it. If we don't, then we will succumb to the details of the case. dealing with PTSD and demons and everything, we have to kind of limit the amount of seriousness that we put into a podcast so that it doesn't trigger us. We have had several cases that have gotten to us, and one case that actually um, triggered both of us. And we try not to do that. And with this case, where we're at right now is her body has been found. She was separated 4 inches or so below the belly button from her L3, L3, L4 um, section in her spine. They completely washed all the blood out of her, placed her in a park so that she would be found. And now we're going on to the investigation part. So let's jump in.
Yeah, let's jump in. Okay, so like I had mentioned earlier, the LAPD had began an extensive investigation that produced over 150 suspects, but yielded no arrests. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the letters and interviews that kind of went through with this. On January 21st, 1947, a person claiming to be Short's killer placed a phone call to the office of James Richardson, the editor of the Examiner, congratulating Richardson on the newspaper's coverage of the case and stating that he planned on eventually turning himself in, but not before allowing police to pursue him further. Additionally, the caller told Richardson to expect some souvenirs of Beth Short in the mail. Now, Ace, did you know anything about that part?
Yep.
Or are you surprised again? Okay, okay, so you're good. So you're following me good. Okay,
Yep.
good, awesome, good stuff.
That part was in the podcast.
Oh, yay! Let's get a cheer in for that one. So that's good. That's good. That's good. All right, we're good. Let's go. We're tracking. Let's go. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Now that kind of goes back to what Ace had mentioned earlier about people, calling in and mailing stuff in and claiming to be the killer of Elizabeth Short. So yeah, this kind of plays into a lot of that stuff. Now on January 24th, a suspicious manila envelope was discovered addressed to the Los Angeles Examiner and other Los Angeles papers with individual words that had been cut and pasted from a newspaper clipping. Additionally, a large message on the face of the envelope read, "Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow." Now, before I move to any further this, what do you have on that part of that?
One of the first things that was delivered was her address book, and she always had her address book with her. And whenever they mailed her address book to the Examiner, they suspected that the person who is contacting them is the actual person who committed the crime. But they could not get anything off of the envelopes. There was no evidence on the address book. They just went through the address book looking for names, and they started contacting everybody that was in the address book. And I believe one of the people that uh, one of the people that they found in the address book was Mark Hansen. He was he was a wealthy local nightclub and theater owner, and acquaintances whose home short had stayed with friends. So they started suspecting him of being the murderer. But just like everything else, they came up with nothing on him as well. Now they did do an extensive investigation on Red, because when it happened, they had started backtracking where she'd been and everything when she came to California. And um, they got Red's name from the lady that she ran into whenever she first moved down to Santa Barbara. And they brought him in for questioning and turned up nothing. Then, whenever they found his fingerprints on the body during the autopsy, they brought him back in. And during the time of the both investigations, they did two lie detector tests on him, and he passed both of them. So he was marked off of their list as their prime suspect.
Now, I want to add to that, as far as that, especially that manila envelope that was turned in, to go along with a lot of what Ace just said. The envelope contains Short's birth certificate, business cards, photographs, names written on a piece of paper, and address book, like Ace just mentioned, with the name Mark Hansen embossed on the cover. The packet had been carefully cleaned with gasoline, similarly to Short's body, which led police to suspect that the packet had been sent directly by her killer. Despite the efforts to clean the packet, several partial fingerprints were lifted from the envelope and sent to the FBI for testing. However, the prints were composed of uh, were compromised in transit, of course, in transit, and thus could not be properly analyzed. It's amazing how that works. Amazing how that works. Um, the same day the packet was received by the examiner, a handbag and black suede shoe were reported to have been seen on. You all right over there?
I was scooting my chair in.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't know. Okay, cool. Um,
Continue.
okay, cool. Um, just checking, just checking on you. But it reported been seen on top of a garbage can in an alley a short distance from Norton Avenue, 2 miles or 3 kilometers. I don't know why they wanted to include that in there from the crime scene. I guess for those who are still, yeah, okay. But anyways, the items were recovered by police, but had also been wiped clean with gasoline, destroying any fingerprints. Now, when I'm listening to that, it sounds to me as if whoever did this, they're leaving this stuff behind, and they're basically playing with investigators. Um, like it's just crazy. It's crazy to me to be able to um like here's this stuff, man. Like they're finding all these different clues, but when every time they find something, it's been wiped with gasoline, in similar fashion as Elizabeth Short. What are some of your thoughts? This is not new information to you? Oh, before I go to you, TikTok, you're doing great. We're at 9.1. Let's get it going. Let's get up to
Really?
10K. Let's get up to 10K. Or no, let me give y'all a chance. Let's get to 12K. Before we have to take this next commercial break. Let's get 12K. All right. But anyways, Ace, what are your thoughts?
Um, My thoughts are that this is just a shot in the dark. Whoever sent this stuff isn't the person who killed her. For whatever reason, the day that she left, or hell, maybe she might have been kidnapped from her home, and left her address book there. But the day that the stuff, the all this stuff was sent in, somebody could have gone in to clean her fucking house out so that they could rent it to somebody else. All of her fucking personal shit's there. So they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to fuck with the police. Watch this shit. So they take the stuff, they put it in an envelope. They do everything that they heard that was done from the murders. They wiped it all clean with gasoline and fucking sent it in just to throw them off the case. Because I mean, if it was the murderer, why would they go back to her house to get all of the stuff? I mean, what would be the purpose of doing that? I mean, I don't get that.
Maybe they didn't go back to the house. Maybe they were already there. Maybe they had already gathered all that stuff. Because, like I said, they placed her murder. So they said, I think either late night on the 14th to early morning of the 15th.
Right.
So I mean, they could have already been at the house. They could have taken her and the stuff that they wanted, taken her someplace else, unalived her, and then did all this stuff. I mean, this is what I keep trying to say, man. This is what I keep trying to tell you, bro. With this case, there's so many
too much going on.
Dude, if you want to talk about a rabbit hole, we talk about a lot of stuff when it comes to rabbit holes and different things. This is a perfect example. Why? Because number one, you're dealing with the time frame you're dealing with in the 1940s. Okay, there is absolutely no way to really go back and actually do any type of real investigation on this. This is not. Anybody who was alive back then, there's a good chance they're probably not alive now. Any evidence that you may have had is probably destroyed because there was no real protocols for stuff like that back in the day.
Right.
So after a certain amount of time, especially if a murder or a crime was unsolved, they probably destroyed that evidence because they didn't have the storage place to keep that stuff. So they probably got rid of that stuff. So there's literally nothing you can really go off of other than what we just know and the evidence that has been kind of, I guess, made it through the test of time. That's the only thing we really have to go off of. And the movies. Right. And I've always said when they start making movies about things that have happened in real life, even though there's might be some things that have been, dramatized and everything like that, you got to be very careful about some of this stuff because there's a lot of truth in these movies and these stories, these books that come out that most people don't pay attention to. I mean, I'm not saying that what everything that happened in that movie is, oh my God, like they came up with this what, and then oh my God, they didn't even mention this person. There's nothing. Listen, there's nothing to say. I'm saying that's the case that happened with this stuff. What I'm saying is, Hollywood has a very strong tie with a lot of government. Think about everything that happened with JFK. Let's just talk about JFK. I'm not even going to throw Martin Luther King in there. Okay. Let's think about JFK. All the conspiracy theories came off of that. And then when you look at the movies that were made, look at the movie JFK with Kevin Costner and that star-studded cast. If you've never seen that movie, it's a must-watch. That movie is phenomenal. That movie right there had me question a lot. They had me question a lot. Matthew, Britt's husband, brought up the Zapruder film. And what I found out is when I told you about the octopus murders, that series on Netflix, that movie brought up the Zapruder film and what happened with JFK. Now tell me why, if they're talking about something that has nothing to do with any of that stuff, Is that something that's coming up in that? Because the octopus murders and the JFK murders have nothing to do with each other. They have nothing to do with each other, other than the fact that what they're talking about in that portion. I'm not going to give away what they're talking about in that portion is the fact that the government used media, government used film to cover up what they did. Like I said, it's a movie. It's all speculation, y'all. I'm not saying the government did anything. Why would I say that? Why would I say that? I'm a retired vet. Why would I say anything like that? I would never. What I'm saying is there's a lot of theories that can be true or not true. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't have these answers. Did I say we were taking another break?
Yes.
We don't need to take a break right now, though. Do we? Do you need to take a break?
No, we're good. We
Okay,
we're good a little bit.
Let's keep moving. Okay, so on March 14th, let's keep rolling. On March 14th, an apparent suicide note was scrawled in pencil on a bit of paper, which was found tucked in a shoe in a pile of men's clothing by Ocean's Edge at the foot of the Breeze Avenue in Venice. Okay, so now we're in Venice. I mean, we're going all over California right now. Next thing you know, we're gonna be like the Beach Boys, Bermuda, Bahama. We're gonna be all over the place. Anyways, the note said, "To whom it may concern, I have waited for the police to capture me for the Black Dahlia killing, but have not. I am not much of a coward to turn myself in.
I am too much, of a coward.
Too much of a coward to turn myself in. So this is the best way out for me. I couldn't help myself for that or this. Sorry, Mary." Now, Mary. Sorry, Mary. Okay. So the pile of clothing was first seen by a beach caretaker who reported the discovery to the lifeguard captain, John Dillon. Dillon immediately notified Captain L.E. Christensen of the West Los Angeles Police Station. The clothes included a coat and trousers, blue herringbone tweed. Wow, there you got really specific on that. A brown and white shirt, white jockey shorts, bro, tan socks, and tan moccasin leisure shoes, size about 8, which is a very common size. Size about 8. Yes, that's right up. The clothes gave no clue about the identity of their owner. What do you think about that, Ace Detective? Alrighty then. Anyways.
Alrighty then. To the way that I look at that is they staged it. It was their way of, like I said earlier, fucking with the police, giving them information, giving them personal items, and then just instead of turning themselves in, just staging a suicide to give themselves an out. They didn't unalive themselves. It's speculation at best.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. So here's what we're gonna do, Ace. Okay, so we got about I say roughly about 12 minutes, no, 11 minutes before the end of the show. So let's push forward. I'm gonna go ahead and make it through this part here, and then what I want to do is after we push through this part, we're gonna talk about some of the connections that they were trying to make with other cases as far as this goes. Let's talk about that. Then we'll take a commercial break, and then we'll come back and do the wrap up. That sound good?
Yep.
Okay. So Now there was some other interesting cases going on around this time. Actually, a little bit before this time. One of the cases that was going on before this time was the Cleveland torso murders.
Wait, I
Yeah.
thought we was taking a break.
No, I said before we take a break. You want to take a break now?
Oh
Are you
no,
are
go
you
go
tired?
ahead.
Man? You
Well,
need a.
I was going to bring something else up, but
We'll bring it up
the
then.
the Hollywood doctor that they
Mhm,
suspected was the one who killed her.
mhm,
Apparently, she was dating him for a little while, and
mhm,
um, they couldn't pin him down. He had a lot of money. He was able to hire lawyers to drag shit out. During the time that this happened, the police had bugged his house, and they overheard the fact that um, well, they heard a lady scream twice, and during that time, they had police officers rush over there. They came back out, no evidence. The officers were suspected of being on like his payroll, like he paid them off. Um, Whenever they left, he had gotten a phone call saying that if he were the Black Dahlia killer, they couldn't get any information out of his secretary anymore because she's dead. Apparently, a couple of days prior to that phone call, she had had an accidental poisoning or some shit like that. I don't know, but it's kind of suspect that whenever they got enough information to actually arrest him, he fled the country and went to the Philippines.
the Philippines, the land of
And his
opportunity.
the land of no extradition.
That's it. The land of opportunity.
Yeah, but they talked to his son, and his son said that he comes back every now and again, and nobody knows. But his son suspected that he comes back to kill or mutilate or unalive somebody, and then goes back to the Philippines. So I mean, he was their best suspect, and they weren't ever able to actually arrest him.
Like, this is what gets me about that. And yes, I was looking at the counter
Yeah,
on the actual studio, so that's why I said that. I wasn't
we only
actually
had
looking at the
11
actual
minutes
studio.
left.
Yeah. But like hearing that, it's like, dude, okay, most people like when they go on vacation, they're like trying to relax and put their feet up somewhere. This dude is vacationing from the Philippines to come back to um basically Jack the Ripper people. That's um yeah, so yeah. Uh, yeah.
Sorry,
Wow. Okay. That's a lot to
right?
unpack there. A lot to unpack there. Okay. Anyways, um so but yeah, that's like that's like what? That's crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Like yeah, he was their best suspect.
Yeah,
And he kind of fit the criteria of someone who would know how to do a lot of the stuff that was going on, that was able to cover the tracks and everything. So I mean, yeah, but once again, you have to go back to the simple fact this case produced over 150 suspects.
yes,
So in that pool, someone's going to fit the bill.
you would think.
I mean, I mean, you have to have the worst batting average in NBA or NBL MLB history if you go 150 and 0 or 0 and 150. Sorry, I'm like, that'd be the best side. But if you striking out 150 times, like you suck. So I'm pretty sure that you had to find at least one person. That's just like going. That's like that's, That's like in what was that movie? Basic with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And one of the parts that was said in there when they're interviewing the guy they suspected to wipe out his entire squad, and then he brought up the whole thing about drugs, and they're like, drugs, yeah. He's like, what about the drugs? He said, dude, you can't throw a stone in any direction, and and not what in the world?
Yeah, whatever.
What the heck did you do?
I didn't do shit. Oh, what? Did they see me put my pen up to my mouth? Fuck you, TikTok. Carry on.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
Jackasses.
Okay, so hey, TikTok, you did awesome. We're at 12K. So yeah, it's just crazy that this I don't know, this case is hurting my head. It just really is. I just don't understand or just I can't wrap my mind around the craziness of this case. But yes, TikTok, you did wonderful. We are at 12K. I guess you said challenge accepted. Out freaking standing people.
Right.
Yeah, I hold my bear.
Hold my bear, watch this.
But no,
Vibrator
yeah.
on.
Vibration initiated. Vibration initiated.
Yes.
But there was, like I said, there was a lot of stuff that went on with this case. And like I said, one of the things that we were talking about here was the simple fact that there was a lot of other, I guess, serial killings that were going on roughly around this period of time. One of which was, like I aforementioned earlier, was the Cleveland torso murders. And this one was crazy because police searched for the remains of the Cleveland torso murders, 1936. Some journalists and law enforcement have speculated a connection between the Cleveland crimes and Short's murder. Um, Now, how much of that were you able to research on Ace when you looked into this?
Now the thing of it is I actually started watching that podcast, but I had to stop. And the reason why I had to stop was because I had this thought, like smack me in the face, saying, don't do it. Because if you listen to this podcast, you're going to forget everything that you just heard on the other one. So I was like, nope, can't do it.
Wow. Okay.
But I was like, I mean, it would have been interesting to have listened to that podcast to see what the similarities were.
Yeah, well, here's some of the similarities between this one. There's two other ones that I will also mention, but in this one, it was speculated a link or suspected a link between the Short murder and the Cleveland torso murders, which took place in Cleveland between 1934 and 1938. As part of part of their investigation into other murders that took place before and after Short's killing, the original LAPD investigators studied the torso murders in 1947, but later discounted any connection between the two cases. So they studied it, but they kind of dismissed it. But in 1980, new evidence implicating a former torso murder suspect, Jack Anderson Wilson, aka Arnold Smith. Not sure why that'd be aka Arnold. Okay. Was investigated by Detective St. John in relation to Short's murder. He claimed that he was close to arresting Wilson in Short's murder, but that Wilson died in a fire February 4th, 1982. The possible connection of the torso murder received renowned media attention um, or I'm sorry, renewed media attention when it was profiled on NBC series Unsolved Murders.
Mysteries.
That's what I said.
Exactly.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Uh,
So
the only thing I can think of is the reason why it says AKA Arnold Smith is because he might have been like, where's his name? Jack Anderson Wilson in Chicago or in Cleveland, but he might have been using Arnold Smith in California.
yeah, well, it's possible. Yeah. It could be. Yeah. Good connection there. Now, but wait, there's more.
But
Another.
after this commercial break,
No. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this one, and then we're gonna take a commercial break. But also connection with that is the lipstick murders. Yes, there was Maybelline mist lipstick that was going around just offing people. No, that's not what happened.
no, this one's L'Oreal.
Yeah, L'Oreal. Sorry. Crime authors Steve Hodel and William Rasmussen has suggested a link between the short murder and the 1946 murder and dismemberment of 6-year-old Susan Dagon, Susan D. Chicago, Illinois. Captain
Deadman.
whatever. Captain Captain Donahue of the LAPD stated publicly that they believe the Black Dahlia and the lipstick murders in Chicago were likely connected. Among the evidence cited in the fact that Short's body was found on Norton Avenue, 3 blocks west of Deegan Boulevard, Deegan being the last name of the girl from Chicago. That's what you're basing it off of.
Okay,
Right.
so wait. Oh, 3 blocks. I thought it said 3 miles. Never mind.
No,
Never mind.
3 blocks. 3 blocks from the street name that happens to be the same last name of the 6-year-old that was unalived. And that's what
Now-
their things connected to.
If that one's a bit of a stretch because I haven't looked into the lipstick murders, but I don't think that she was unalived in the same manner
No.
as what Short was.
No. They were basing it off of
So-
something else.
Yeah. So, I mean, why would they even put the comparison together if the details didn't match? I mean, they're going on. I mean, that's an awfully big stretch going, well, she's 3 blocks from the last name of this little girl that was unalived. So it could be the same person.
Yeah.
Come
But
on.
here's the reason why. And the reason why is because there was a ransom note that had the Black Dahlia Avenger that was written on it. Both texts use a combination of capitals and small letters. And so like basically like they gave a sample of it where it said burn this for her safety. The B and the RN in burn were capitalized. The T in this, the F and the R in for, the R in her, and then the SATY in safety were capitalized. So they basically were using the same type of lettering and everything in the notes. Both notes contain similar misspelled letters, like the P, and both have one word that matches exactly. So that's what they're saying is that the writing of it was similar. Like it's so weird to read that. Like what? Like wait, what?
Hey, Birdman.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to reading something, would you like for me to read it for you?
No, I'm good. It's just this was so weird because that it's like I'm having to read and like, and you're seeing the capital letters that are in some of the things, and then it's misspelled, and my brain wants to say it right, but then it's like, what? And so I'm trying not to say that live. So it's just frustrating. Okay, leave me the freak alone. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, it was that's what they were trying to base it off of, was the comparison of the notes that were left. Which I mean, I understand that a lot of investigators will do that even now. If something is similar, and especially if it's an unsolved case, they will try to make comparisons if they can, if they're actually talking to one another, especially if it's happening in two different places. But if that's kind of going on, then yeah, I get that. Um, but yeah, that's what they were trying to base that off of. But they were able to determine that they did not have anything in common, and it had nothing to do with each other. And then the last one I want to mention, this one was between 1943 and 1949. So this really actually is right there where it right there in the time frame of Elizabeth Short, and that's the Lone Woman murders. The Lone Woman murders. Okay. So between 1943 and 1949, within Los Angeles, over a dozen unsolved murders occurred, including the death of Short, which involved the sexual mutilation of young, attractive women. Authorities suspected at this time that they could have been the work of a single unidentified serial killer. Now, to me, just off of that, I think fits a little bit better than some of this other stuff that we've been trying to uncover.
Well,
That
the
that's
thing of it
more
is, though,
pop.
is Short wasn't sexually assaulted.
No,
Well, what do I? It says sexual mutilation.
mutilation. Yeah,
Okay, so I mean, her right breast assist was
removed.
removed. Okay, so all right,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe
Now,
a little closer.
yeah. Now, in 1949, the Los Angeles County Grand Jury was tasked with investigating the failure of the part of the law enforcement to solve the cases. As a result, further investigation was done on the homicides, although none of them were solved. So I mean, they investigated. They really, really. I guess I'm gonna say they really tried to solve it, but they still couldn't solve any of them. Now it kind of gives a breakdown of everything that's going on. I'm not gonna really get into all that, because it basically goes starting from July to 27th of 1943, and it goes all the way through, basically up until almost 1994, of different things that they were trying to figure out when it comes to this. So I'm not gonna go to all that. I would definitely encourage you, if you definitely want to know a little more, maybe we can do a podcast on, or maybe an episode on the Lone Woman, because this one actually is pretty crazy too.
Well,
Um,
I'm reading down through here, and I would
a long
discredit.
section, long section.
It is. It's a very long section on that. It talks about
Episode
each
by itself.
different woman.
Yeah, it's like I
Yeah,
said, episode by itself.
but I would discredit the fact that this one has anything to do with the Black Dahlia, just because of the simple fact that the cases here, they were severely beaten, and there wasn't any evidence that, other than the cutting and separation of the top and bottom of her body, there was no wounds showing that she had been severely beaten. So
I mean, look, man, you ain't got to convince me, bro. I get it. You ain't got to convince me. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you.
yep.
Um, and it's like one of those things where sometimes they say, well, serial killers, they have a pattern, and they never vary from it. But you got to remember that most of them, especially when they're first starting off, they don't have everything perfected. Itsy, thank you. They don't have everything perfected. So I mean, it could be one of those things where, did he break pattern? Maybe Elizabeth was somebody he met and was trying to do things different. and but couldn't do it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know these things. I wasn't there. I wasn't born that time. I don't know what's going on. Okay, this is what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna take another quick commercial break. This commercial is gonna be brought to you by the Tri-State 66ers. They're a minor league basketball team that play out of the Southeast Kansas area. They play for the MABA league. So definitely you want to go check them out. They've got their YouTube channel. More information comes with this commercial. So after we take this quick commercial break, we're gonna come back and we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. Stick around for more of the Birdman Show. Hey, it's the Birdman here from the Birdman Show. And I have a quick question for you. Are you like me and don't know what to do once the college and NBA basketball seasons are over and you still want to watch basketball? Well, I just might have an answer for your basketball blues. The Tri-State 66ers are a minor league basketball team located in Pittsburgh, Kansas. I know what you're saying. But Birdman, I don't live in Pittsburgh, Kansas. How can I watch all the action? No problem. You can check all the games out on their YouTube channel at Tri-State 66ers. That's Tri-State at 66 ERS. And you can also follow them on their Facebook page at Tri-State 66ers, all words, no numbers, to stay up to date with everything going on with the team. So if you want to watch Major League talent on a minor league budget, check out the Tri-State 66ers. And tell them a bird sent you. Birdman, that is. Yo, what is up, everybody? How you doing? It is your boy. It's the Birdman. We are back here on the Birdman Show. That is Ace. Birdman Show. Birdman, you know what to do. Do it with us. That is right. We're back here, and we are trying to make sense of this crazy case that we've been dealing with for almost 2 hours now, and that's the case of the Black Dahlia. It has been a up and down show. I doing my best to make sure I kind of keep a clear head with this, but it's kind of difficult. And I'm not gonna speak for you, Ace. But yeah. My mind kind of just goes all over the place when we start thinking about stuff like this, because this happened in the 40s, prevalent 1947, I believe is what we said. And things are a lot worse when it comes to predators in today's age than they even were more so back then. Back then, a lot of the stuff was unheard of. So there wasn't really anything to really fear. I mean, if that makes sense, there really wasn't much to really worry about in that sense. Today's age, knowledge. We have knowledge. We have the internet. There's no excuse for people not knowing about these things, but yet still, people find themselves in these situations often. And it bothers me. Bothers me as a father, who has two biological daughters, and several adopted daughters. It bothers me. You know what I mean? Because like I try to tell all my children, you don't know who you're dealing with on a regular basis. You don't know the people you meet. You don't know what they're capable of or what their intentions are. You just don't know. And it's just crazy to me to understand and know what's going on with people. How are you doing with all this?
The case, I'm doing all right. Everything else, I'm not. With the case, I'm with you. I've got I've got three daughters, um, but I've got I don't even know how many adoptive daughters that I've got, and I try to tell all of them all the time to be careful anywhere you go because you never know what can happen to you. I mean, somebody can walk up behind you with a rag and knock you out and drag you away, and nobody would ever see you again. Yeah, and one redheaded stepchild. Who
Hmm.
can forget about her? But yeah, I mean, this case is a prime example of be careful who you trust. 100%.
Yeah, it's dude, it's hard to really kind of fathom this, like to really kind of put it in perspective. I mean, I understand it, um, and like I said, it's difficult to kind of really want to acknowledge that this is like a worse type of situation because of today's society, and a lot of kids, and I'm gonna call you kids, still have that mentality that nothing can happen to you, that stuff like that only um that only stuff like that can only be happening in like these big cities and all these other places. This stuff can happen anywhere, and that's what really gets me about this stuff. So it's just, dude, I don't know. It's freaking crazy to me. Um, so how about this? Hey, so let's go ahead and do some closing remarks here. And tell everybody how your closing remarks are for this particular episode.
Um, like I just said, whenever it comes to going to a different city or even in the city that you've lived in your entire life, whenever it comes to meeting new people, make sure you're careful whenever it comes to being private or um, alone with them until you actually get to know them. Because new acquaintances can turn into a bad situation. So just always keep your guard up is the best closing remarks that I can give.
That is actually the best advice. Um, and listen, please don't take this as we're saying, oh my God, you just can't ever trust anybody and you have to be so guarded, that you never let anybody in. That's not what I'm saying. And I know that's not what Ace is saying. You just gotta be careful, be more mindful. Um,
Absolutely.
and my thing is, and this is one thing I learned when I was in the military, but I've also learned, um, in the years preceding the time I was in the military, no one is worth, or no one's worth you giving your full trust to right off the bat.
Absolutely not.
Um, too many times what I see is that people just as soon as they meet somebody, they just automatically trust them. Oh my God, they say that they're just in love with this person, this and that. I know it's kind of getting into something else, but you tend to give your trust, and and honestly, quite frankly, your heart away too quickly, too easily, without really allowing that person to naturally earn, that spot and that space in your heart and in your life. Um, take your time. There's no rush. I mean, just really honestly take your time, really, and like I said, get to know somebody. And I can say, safely 100%. No matter how many time, how many years you've been with somebody, you may never fully know everything about them, but you'll know enough to where you might be able to pick up. on things a little better. I mean, I can safely say if a lot of people wouldn't rush into some relationships, they probably wouldn't have as many relationships as they've had.
They probably
Because
wouldn't have any problems in their relationship because if they fully know the person they're getting into a relationship with, they'll know whether or not whenever they get together, if he's going to be a dick or she's going to be a raging bitch. Nobody take that personally, please. That's just a metaphor. But you're right.
um, and like I said, it's just what the
Uh,
sorry, something popped up. Just wow.
Desi,
Yeah. So yeah, that yeah, I'm sorry, I'm dealing with
hey,
something.
hey, hey,
Some
hey,
Des
Tim,
brought. Yeah.
it's 8:01.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're about to wrap this up. Okay, so yeah, because I got to deal with something because Des brought something to my attention that's really about to. I'm about to go flip straight military mode here in a second. Um, so let's just real quick, Ace, tell everybody what we got coming up right after the podcast.
Uh, right after the podcast, we go from here to here, and we are on TikTok doing trivia from 8 p.m. ish to 10 p.m. If you're not doing anything after this, come over to TikTok and join us. It's always a good time, and everybody has fun. So come join us.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. And like always say, Tyler Perry for the win. Um, but no, it is a lot of fun. So definitely come join Ace on that. A reminder that tomorrow night is the Birdman Show recap, which I just dropped a bomb
Are
on
you
Ace right
wanting
before
your
that.
time?
Yeah, no, I dropped that bomb on Ace. I'm probably not going to be on the recap tomorrow unless Ace would want to move it to Friday. But if we're going to keep it the same, I'm not going to be on the recap tomorrow because I will be doing my testing for my first certification for IT and cybersecurity. So that's when I start testing at 5:45. So unfortunately, I will
We
not
can
be on
move
the.
it to Friday. That's fine.
Oh, okay, okay. So then, for a special occasion, Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing the Birdman Show recap right there on as I almost knocked my mic through the screen. Right there, as you see below on TikTok. For those who are on TikTok, just come back. For those who are on YouTube, those on X, um, uh, come watch us on live on TikTok, at Birdman Show. It's a lot of fun. We get to, of course, recap the show, but as well we get to converse with our fans, and we also do a portion where we ask you, the viewer, for suggestions for upcoming shows. This is episode 18 of
Yes.
season 3. So we got episode 19 and we got episode 20. Next week's episode. Woo! I might have to call Michael Buffett up and say so he can do the intro. Because we're doing a battle of sexes. So let's get ready to rumble. Yeah, it's and it's not like the real talk one. It's not the real talk one. Real talk one was kind of like pillow fighting. This is bare knuckles. We're getting right to the nitty gritty. We're finishing up putting together the panel for that, and really it's geared to hopefully push a few buttons because we're gonna be talking about relationships, we're gonna be talking about men and women, our different views on different aspects of life. We're planning on having a discussion on that, and it I can guarantee it's probably gonna get heated in some parts, but the thing is the people I have on that I'm gonna have on this panel, we all love it. We all know and love each other very much. So even though it may get heated, it may seem like it's getting heated between us. Trust me, it's nothing like that. But at the same time, it's good to have these kind of conversations, because that's the only reason why and only way we would ever be able to grow. So definitely come check us out. That's next Wednesday at the same time, 6 p.m. Central Time, right here on this platform, on our YouTube, on X, on. Oh, really? Okay. Well, we'll just have to talk about that. We'll definitely get with you on that one, Mandy.
What's that?
But Mandy wants to be a part of it.
Babe?
Yeah, so definitely we'll definitely we'll
Yeah.
definitely get in touch with you on that. But yeah, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know Ace is looking forward to it. Definitely go check us out on our social media platforms. Check us out on our Instagram at Birdman Show, or I'm sorry, at the Birdman Show. For those who are watching us over on X, you're already there at Birdman Podcast. Definitely go check us out. But yes, it's been fun, Ace. It's been another fun show that we've been able to do. So, Ace, you got anything else for the good people?
Enjoy your night. See you on
Yes, sir.
TikTok.
That's right. That's 100% right. Definitely, we want to thank you guys for joining us. And like I said, definitely come back and join us. Don't forget to go join Ace right after this podcast over on his TikTok platform. And don't forget to come back and join us for the Birdman Show recap Friday, first time, only time, Friday at 6 p.m. And we'll see you guys next week on the Birdman Show. Go ahead and do it with us one more time. And we out.